Hey guys, I'm Sahara, and I'm going to be your lovely host for this lovely podcast, Womanhood Plus God. I have my guest,
Jazmyn.
yes, and we met at Kaya Dallas, and we're now good friends. And I just wanted to bring her on so that she could be a guest of this podcast. And we're going to talk about Christianity and what does a woman of God look like, and just go dive deeper into relationships and stuff like that. And we already started this conversation in the car, so we're just going to go ahead and finish it. But if you want to tell a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what made you want to start your relationship with God, or what pulled you to God.
So, like you said, my name is Jazmyn. But starting my relationship with God was a heartbreak. I knew I needed to do something different because the way I was doing it was not it. And I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I said, we're going to do something else. And from there, it became a relationship where all I got is you. And from there, it's just been growing. And through my relationship with God, because I've grown up very religious, but I never was like, I'm going to go to church. I'm not going to go to church. I might go 2 times and I'll be like, all right, I'm done. But when you get to a space where it's like, something got to give or you finna be checked out for real, that's the place where I was at when I decided. It really wasn't me deciding for real. I think I just really was like,
God called you.
I was just over it, and it was 20. So everyone is sitting down and we just stuck in the house. And I didn't have to talk to, I got out of that environment of my friends, the people pleasing, the ways that I had in high school, all that. And I got out of that and I was at home and I didn't have to deal with nobody. So all I had to do was sit there and just listen to how I felt, start digesting certain thoughts. And I'm like, this isn't who I want to be anymore. Now what? Once I said now what, it became something else.
Right. So when you started your relationship with God, did you go through like a season where you were by yourself, or like isolation season, or like your pruning season, or anything like that? And how did it look, and how did it affect you? Because right now I think I'm coming out of it. I think God is calling me to like be in front of people and stuff like that, but you still have to go through that process where you're working on yourself and basically letting God get all that bad stuff out of you. So how did you go through that, and how did you handle it?
Honestly, it's a great question. I definitely had to go through a season of isolation, and it felt good to me. It felt like, no, I'm regaining the strength that I needed, and I couldn't get that strength from anyone else.
Right.
It was more direct. It was more like me battling with depression and not knowing that I was battling with depression. How you smoking every day and don't think you're depressed?
Right.
You waking up blunt to the face immediately, and then you so high you don't really know what you're doing for real. But then you come down and let's go back up. But you so high that your weed is your depressant, your antidepressant. But it's like, how depressed are you that a suppressant is bringing you up?
Right.
Does that make sense? Because weed is supposed to suppress, but I was using it to make me
Feel good.
up. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, let's work on that. You know what I'm saying? But if people that was around me really had a role to play, and I didn't want to blame them. I put it on me. Y'all, I'm going to step back, and I'm trying to get some things in order. That hurt their feelings.
Right.
They never heard me say that before, because I'm the one, hey, y'all down? Let's go. Let's roll. You know what I'm saying? But from there, and you have our questions, I don't want to get into it, but from there, I had to pivot. It means you have to turn. And that turning was like from those people, that environment, to check in back with myself.
Right. And I feel like I can relate, because basically getting rid of people that don't no longer serve you, because some people hinder your walk with God and hinder your growth in general. Like, even if you weren't a Christian, even if you are questioning, getting back, if you were a Christian and you're not because you don't feel like God is with you, sometimes God does literally separate you, and you have to reevaluate who you're around, because you got to be around community, be around people who are doing the things, walking with God, because if not, that can literally hinder you and keep you back from what God has called you to do. You finding your purpose and stuff like that. And I feel like for me, with my isolation and separation, it was a lot of deep dive and deep work into why am I getting angry at people around me? Why am I so insecure about certain things? Why do I react a certain way to certain people? I had to really deep dive and look into myself and look at what God is trying to get out of me, you know what I mean, to make me a better woman, and basically do what he has called me to do, be walking my purpose and figure out what my purpose is too, because a lot of people don't know what their purpose is in life. And I feel like once you figure out what your purpose is, it would let you would know, then let God guide you, and he will order your steps to get to that purpose, to fulfill his call for you. But how do you feel about that? Like, figuring out what your purpose is. Are you still figuring out what your purpose is, or like you already know what it is?
I figured that out early on, and it was so big that it was kind of, this ain't for me. So you might as well go ahead and go about your day, because I'm not qualified to do that. And I'm not finna go through all them hoops trying to be this person to do that.
Right.
That's me talking to God. God looking at me like, who you talking to? And I'm talking to you, because she's like, who you think I am? But it's like, if your purpose don't scare you, then it's probably not your purpose.
Right. How am I supposed to get there, God? Through all these trials and tribulations, how am I supposed to reach this goal that you have for me?
It's not supposed to be about you.
So that's a lot of correction that people got to do. So.
And people will say they get to a level of their life and say that was all them. Not me, baby. Right. That wasn't me at all, because that wasn't the decision that I was going to make at all. Like, right. For example, marriage. Maybe I was going to thug till I die. But now it's like, no, I want me a husband.
Right.
I want me a family. I want us to have a strong bond. But at first, because all I was seeing was divorces and hearing that ain't why would I want that? Why would I want to have to call my baby daddy or whatever, right, and go through all this? But the fact of the matter is, I wasn't seeing true love. I wasn't seeing the fact that we got in a disagreement, but we both want this. So how are we going to correct or address it in a way that we'll still be together? Not being able to see that, I think, made me feel like love or marriage was just not an option. But my coming into the fact that God is going to love me through it unconditionally helped me understand that love like that exists. And it's not about what you see, it's about what you allow your spirit to accept. And that helped me in my relationship, because with God loving me, it's how I want my mother to love me, you know?
I think once, I ain't gonna lie, like 2024, there's a lot of learning and unlearning, right? And I feel like, I really feel like a lot of people who are new to their walk with Christ and all that, there's a lot of controversy on Instagram and TikTok about like, Christian women wanting to become Christians so that they can find them a man and all that. But once you really dive deep, I feel like once you really dive deep, I really feel like if you don't got God's love, nobody else's love is going to suffice as much as his. God, oh my God, I don't know how to explain it. People, I have been in and out of situationships, talking to people, it don't work out, because I just feel like nobody has been giving me the love and the kindness and the grace that God has given me. You can get into arguments with your partner, they might not forgive you, but God forgives you, you know what I mean? God always takes his children back, and he's always there for his children. And I don't know, it's just a different type of love that nobody in this world can give.
I got into a place, because I hate when people are extremely desperate. Girl, he don't want you. Go ahead and go about your life and do you.
Right.
Go get you some money.
Right. Work on yourself. Go to the gym. Right.
I feel like when I got to a point, and that's a very good place for me, when I'm okay with if it is or if it's not, if I get it or if I don't.
Right.
That's a great place for me, because it's like, if I get a man, if I don't, I'm still gonna be good.
Right, because God got me.
Because as far as me, myself, and I, with the man and without a man, I'm still gonna be doing the same thing.
Right.
I want my garden. I want my house clean. We gonna be eating good. I'm gonna be fly. That's what it's gonna be.
Right.
So with or without, I'm okay. And I feel like if you're not at that space, if you feel like I need this
somebody, I think even with the not even with just women and in relationships, I think friendships also, feeling like you do need community, but also being able to take the time to yourself, step away from the crowd, step away from people, and let God speak to you. You don't always have to be around your homegirls. You don't always have to be around everybody, being in everybody's face. Sometimes God wants to just talk to you, not talk to everybody else. And I feel like, this is so good. I'm sorry, but like, God has really been working on me. Once you really just lock in
and stop playing,
right? Just focus on yourself, focus on what God has called you to do, focus on
they gonna say what is wrong with you.
Right.
Something is wrong with you. Nothing is right. Nothing was wrong with me when I was at the club and doing all this and doing all that. but something wrong with me because I want to drink water.
Right. I want to get some sun.
Do you hear yourself? That's what I'm saying. But it's like, we get to these questions.
Oh, sorry. So we did have a list of questions, but
we have not been talking
okay. So I'm gonna ask this one. What advice would you give to anyone of our age, younger or older, pertaining to the pruning season? Well, dealing with it. What advice would you give?
2 things. And I'm going to tell y'all a little story. The person that you see now in front of you is not the same person that was in 10th grade or 7th grade or whatever. Mm-hmm. We grow each and every day. So whatever season of your life or whatever years or whatever period that you had to become in order to get over whatever you was going through, don't hate that person. Respect that person and learn how to love that person. Give yourself that grace. Give yourself that credit. Because looking back at, I have a brother, and I'll be just looking at him like, you ignorant. But then I have to say, he's not ignorant, excuse me, proper English. But he's making decisions how a 13-year-old would have made decisions. He's not making decisions based on how a grown man would make decisions, because that's not where he is right now. You're doing the best that you can, and don't compare yourself to other people. You're never going to amount to what someone else is going to want for you. Don't allow anybody expectation of you on you. It's you. You know what I'm saying? And then 2, as long as you are working towards progression, don't be judging yourself.
Right.
The whole world gonna judge you. Why add to it? Because I'm my biggest critic, baby. Let something not be right. I'm finna go to the gym tonight. But it's like, I cried yesterday, or I cried today, and I'm gonna cry tomorrow, and then I'm gonna be happy, and I'm gonna be sad, then I'm gonna be this, and then this, and I'm like, is this normal? Is this? Am I going through a mental health crisis? Do I need to go to the therapy?
Right.
But like, no, you're experiencing an emotion.
Right.
And maybe the emotion is not good, but that doesn't mean that it's bad for you.
Right.
Someone just died. You're not gonna be happy, but you're gonna be sad. That's a regular emotion.
Right.
But just don't stay in that for a long period of time. Years. Sure, it may take people longer to get over certain things, but what can Kendrick Lamar say? I grieve different. I do things differently than what you would want me to do. But that process is still not for a person or for myself to judge.
Right.
As long as I know deep down inside that I'm growing and I'm trying, because life is hard.
So I think I can add to that, the pruning season. What advice would I give? Me personally, I feel like comparison, what is it saying? Comparison is the thief of joy, something like that. Killer. So I feel like everybody in their 20s, in their maybe even their 30s, but I know for a fact after college phase, everybody's trying to get their life together. Everybody's trying to figure it out, no matter what they look like on Instagram. Instagram is just a filter. Instagram is just a little small part of their lives. That's why I be having to take break from Instagram to tap back into reality and figure out what I want from life. Because when you constantly seeing other people around you doing good, or like people buying cars, people getting houses, people doing stuff, and you like, God, when is it gonna be your turn? But like God, when you waiting on God, is gonna bless you 10 times more than, because those people might not have a relationship with God. So like, what they getting might not even be from God. So God's blessing might be way better than what you seeing online. So I feel like for me, just taking breaks and just being, you said, giving yourself grace and letting God take that bad stuff out of you. Because like, negative, oh my God, I used to be so a negative person. I'm not even realizing it, but like, I used to be such a negative person. And like, when I look back, I really do thank God for the growth that I have been through, but I also thank him for the lessons that I've learned, because it has helped me where I'm at now. But that's kind of what I got to say about that. Just taking breaks and giving yourself grace, and also like finding someone who's a little bit older than you, but like to follow after if they're a good role model, and like people to ask advice from, you growing community, going to the church, serving. But all that stuff will take time to do, because I didn't just pop out serving right after I got baptized. But like, if that's what God has called you to do, if he calls you to serve, and that's from God, so like, do it. You get in a space where God is at. Go to those women empowerment conferences. People, you be around women like that or men like that too. So,
and I serve differently. Like, my people are, this gonna come out kind of interesting, but people that consider themselves escorts or prostitutes, homeless people, but really just people in prison. Because I don't have to be in prison. I can be in bondage in my mind and stuck in my mind. And that's a very victim type of place. And somebody may not look at it as, oh, you're a victim, or this has happened to you, and this and that. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. I'm trying to win. You know what I'm saying? But it takes a different type of heart to even be in that capacity with people. And one of the things that I'm really going for, because when I think about community, I think about boots on the ground, foundation, mama bear.
Right.
And in order to tap into that space, I feel like you actually have to deal with the community's problems. We got sexy reds out here trying to be first ladies.
Right.
And it's like,
you got to work on yourself first. Before you trying to help other people, you got to help yourself
ain't
first.
No disrespect to sexy red.
Before you can try to help other people, you really do got to help yourself, because like, people going to be looking at you. You say you a woman of God. You say you follow Christ. You ain't looking like it. Things you post on Instagram, you posting with bikini pictures on, you posting with that on. It's so judgmental. But
like, who are you to judge that, though? Mm-hmm. I feel like once you, because as a woman, I not just had this conversation. As a woman, I had to get to a place where I'm finna cook. I'm finna clean. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. But that's for me. I don't think men understand that either. Because it's like, that's not just for you. That's for me. I clean up for my mental health.
Right.
I clean for my nourishment.
Right.
I just make enough for everybody.
Right.
But I had to get to that space first. If I'm not in that space, you can't rush that. You can't shame someone into being who you want them to be. Right. Because that's a low energy that you're trying to put on somebody and telling them to go higher. Mm-hmm. You don't do that. You say, hey, what's up? Because if I'm in a bikini, either I think I'm fly or I want somebody to tell me that I am. Mm-hmm. And if I think I'm fly and I post it, it is what it is. But if the intention is I don't think I'm beautiful and I want somebody else to tell me, that's two different lanes. Now, a person of influence, it gets kind of tricky because no one is really thinking about your intention. Someone that's younger is probably just copying off of you. Mm-hmm. And so I think when you get to a level of people are looking at you, you got to be able to already have that mindset ready because people are looking at you. Mm-hmm. But if you still trying to figure it out and nobody's looking at you, girl, do you. Mm-hmm. And when you figure it out, delete it. Once you post it, it probably ain't going to go nowhere because that stays forever. But it's like, live your life.
There has been plenty of posts that I have privated. Once I post it, I be convicted and I just be like, nah, that wasn't right.
My delete. Song selections.
But that leads me into my next question. What does a woman, I think we asked that the first question, but I think I want to dive a little bit deeper. Clothing, and they say Proverbs 31, she dresses a certain way, modesty and all that. How do you feel about modesty? Like me personally, I feel like I have worked on my modesty, but it still be times where I might want to show a little curve or something because God done blessed me. So, but how do you think, what do you think about the whole modest, all that?
Some days I be like, if we being honest, some days I be like, I'm going to wear this crop top and I'm going to wear these sweatpants with it and I'm putting on my Air Forces and I'm going to walk out the house. And that's on me that with my Stanley Cup. And then some days I'm like, all right, be for real. And I'm like, let's put it together. But my modesty is actually coming from tattoos. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be tatted. I wanted to look like a Chipotle bag. I would like thugged out.
Right.
And then I'm like, I do all that, just chill. But sometimes I don't like the strictness that comes with saying that you're a woman of God. I understand, of course, being able to be appropriate and for you to set a standard that's not like everybody else. So you're extremely classy. Mm-hmm. So for me, I just be like, I want to be classy, but I want to still feel beautiful.
Right.
You know? And I respect Muslim women. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that you can wear your hijab. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. If you can wear your hijab, you can still feel so beautiful. You still feel like a queen in whatever you're wearing. And it's that type of discipline I respect. And I want to get to that place, but I feel like I'm not necessarily there yet because I want to wear what I want to wear.
So like, for me, let's talk about these birthday pictures that I took, y'all. So there was a little controversy. I didn't get it from just one person. There was other people my age telling me, the women of God my age, telling me that they didn't repost my pictures because they didn't feel like my pictures were appropriate. I don't know if I want to, because I got my own opinion. But
I had that conversation before with my pastor, and she was just like, basically, what do you think other people would think about you?
But my thing is, those were my birthday pictures. Like, I don't dress like that on a day-to-day basis. And my pictures weren't even that bad. Yes, my one little leg was up and I was like turned to the side, but still it wasn't that bad. It was a lot better than a lot of people nowadays because a lot of people be in lingerie, bra and panties. I had on a nice little black classy, what was it, a blazer suit or something like that with some tights on. It was real nice. But
Yeah.
people, I don't know. People
You know,
just
you
be
shape
too,
though.
well, it could be. It's only so much that I could do, man.
That's what I'm saying. Because when people say, "Oh, you know," if you walk in, you be like, "Oh, I'm a Christian," or "I do this," and everybody gonna be like, "Here you go." But it's these instances, bro. Yes, I believe in
Grace.
God, but it's like I'm not going to. If we was at church, that we use the language crucifying your flesh every single day, basically walking around like a Mormon.
Right.
But they would argue and say you don't have to feel like that. It
Right.
should be internal. You should feel beautiful inside.
Right. What is Archaea? Come as you are.
Yeah.
That's
But
how I
sometimes
feel
I be
like.
like,
Just come as you are,
you know?
because God's gonna. People be tatted up head to toe, and they be the most saved people in the world.
Because you don't know what they went.
Because the outer appearance doesn't define what God put inside. Because at the end of the day, when we die, our flesh body is not. It don't matter. God gonna give us a whole new body when we get to paradise. So it's just like, why are y'all judging so hard?
And I travel abroad, and just seeing how other religions carry themselves and how, because it was Buddhists and Catholics and then Muslim. Now, I have a preference. I love Muslim art and architecture. But just being around, it's more of a culture. It's a standard of just being able to see through things that normal people not going to see through. And then it was in Barcelona, so they are Spaniards first. So that's going to be Catholic in Catholicism, and seeing how they carry themselves. But it's like, and then the other one was Buddhist, but that temple, it was just different because the monks were there, but the monks, they told you that was a choice. You didn't have to be a monk in order to be Buddhist. And I'm like, but it's, I was able to learn from the monk as well as a person off the street. Everybody has their own story. You can't dictate who God is going to use.
Right.
You can't say because you do this and you look like that, God not going to use you.
Right.
Or he's not going to use you as much because you did this. Are you God? Or am I just not fitting what you want me to look like?
Right.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
in the Bible it says God uses the brokenhearted.
Okay.
So it might not look like what you expect. It might not show even blessings. People around you, God might connect you to people you probably like, God, why did you connect me with this person? You want me to help this person? But like, God could do all things. So I really wanted to ask another question, but
Do that.
how do you feel? No, do you want to talk about dating right now, or you want to talk about the question 5? 4 or 5?
How do you feel about new Christians and dating? What advice would you give?
You want me to answer? So, new Christians and dating. Let's talk about me for a second. My experience. So, I'm single right now because I just been focusing on God. She's in a lovely relationship and she prayed for that relationship. So, I wish her nothing but the best. But for me, I know a lot of people are in my boat right now, single as a Pringle and waiting for their lovely woman or man of God. And I feel like just wait. That's all I can say. Don't rush nothing because it ain't going to give what it's supposed to give. It ain't going to be what it's going to be. And you're going to be disappointed every time. I'm sorry, but yes. And I just had to accept that fact. Just wait, because if you rush something, you're going to be putting yourself before God and you ain't going to get what you want at the end of the day. So just wait on God. That's my advice.
As for me and mine, close them legs.
For relationship-wise, if you in a relationship with somebody.
Wait, hold on one second. But going back to what you were saying. When you waiting, close them legs and be quiet a little bit more. I'm saying, let the person talk. Give the person the space. And learn yourself.
Go to the gym.
If he call you about 8 o'clock, talking about, do you want to come over? Girl, what you thought?
Go ahead and put a stop to that right now. Shut that down.
Let's say he don't have, let's say you want to go to Papa Do's, but he has Chipotle money. What you got?
Right. That's another thing. People be asking for stuff that they don't even got themselves.
But you want to go to Papa Do's.
Right.
But anywho, get yourself together.
Right.
And when you get yourself together,
Because
you're going to attract who you need to attract.
Right. And God's going to prepare you. God is preparing me. God is going to prepare you for your person, because you will know how to talk to people, handle certain situations a certain way. That's what I've been learning. Giving grace to your partner, because if you really want to be married, it ain't going to be all sunshine and rainbows every day. So I feel like a lot of people nowadays also be giving up so easily. And I feel like if you just see one red flag and be like, nah, that ain't. But if you see God in them, y'all gonna have to learn how to work through stuff, because it ain't gonna always be perfect. But that's what I say. Work on yourself too. I've been going to the gym because I used to be chunky. I can't be who I want. I can't be who God called me to be if I'm looking the way I'm looking. Like, so
I won't be confident.
Yes, I won't be confident either. So I had to go to the gym, going to yoga spots, going to Pilates, because I actually like being in those environments. Once you start going and you get a groove of things, going to the gym and you see everybody else in the gym, it make you, oh, I'm gonna start doing this more often. Because it's like other people around you doing the same thing, have the same goals, just working on themselves. So that's where I'm at right now. But what about you for your relationship wise? What have you learned being in a relationship?
It's been working out because it's long distance, and our dynamic is very different. And I like it because it's like, if something goes wrong, I'm gonna call my man.
Right.
I'm gonna call my man because I like the way he talks to me. His perspective is a perspective where I didn't think of it like that. And I used to have this shirt. It said, "I love my attitude problem," because I don't talk a lot. Like, I'll walk in, I'll say, or not, I'll say hey, and then I'll just be cool. And I could tell just like my mannerisms are changing now. Hey, you need something, or this, and that. I don't know. It's more, I know it's God because it's just the way he handles me. And it's nurturing, it's gentle, and it's more like, I'm going to use this word, don't cancel me. I'm willing to be submissive to that. And at first it was like, why would I be submissive to somebody that's dumb?
Right.
You can't tell me how to tie my shoe. But because of the way he handles certain things, and I'm giving him many opportunities and examples, because I want, when you test somebody, but you don't know that you're testing them.
Right.
But in the moment, it's like, let me see how he handled that. So, for example,
test the fruits.
So, for example, I'm having a bad day, and I'm like, bro, I'm really not even trying to hear nothing. What he say? Or like, change your perspective and watch your tone, how you talking to yourself. This how he talking though. He's too calm. When you up here and somebody tone is down here,
make you want to bright.
Let me adapt. And it was talking about being able to understand how God loves you, and then how that translates to other relationships, how healthy relationships should look like. And I'm like, I see what you're doing here. And of course, we have things that we're going to work on. Right. But it's like being willing to work on those things now. Being willing to be looking at myself. Because now it's like, I want to get better, not for you, but for me, so we can be better.
Right.
And I don't believe in that 50-50. Come into a relationship 100% you. Right. The other person comes into 100% them. Y'all be 100% together. Right. Don't come over here 50% and trying to figure, wait a minute. Because my first question to him was, what's your purpose? Right. I cut no corners. What is your purpose? What are you here for? Do you understand that? Because how you going to lead me and you don't know what you got going on? You don't know. I can accept that answer because you was telling the truth. Right. Figure it out. And the way that when I say figure it out, it's more like, of course, I'm your helpmate as your woman. I'm here to help you. Right. I'm here to make sure you good. And as you figure it out, if we connected and we align for real, God gonna sprinkle certain things here and there to me, and I'm gonna just throw it out there and see if you catch it. But it's like, that's how we operate now. It's more like, if I'm 80%, he makes sure he got that 20. You know what I'm saying? And if he had 20, you want some food, you know? But it's like
being there for each other in a godly way.
And with it being long distance, it really helps because it's like we are able to build that bond. And it's real because I don't have to answer the phone. Right. I'm going to answer that phone though. Answer the phone.
But I think you were saying how someone treats you. In the Bible, it talks about a woman should be submissive to her husband and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of women, even me, I used to be Miss Independent and all that stuff, and had this strong barrier up. But as I'm learning, as I'm growing, when you have someone that's treating you right, a man, something about a man being a man
and not being sassy,
right?
You in the mirror,
you can get anything.
What you say? You in the mirror more than me,
right? You could get anything. I promise you could get the soft side of Sahara. I ain't gonna be arguing with you. I'm sorry, I don't want to argue with you. I'm gonna be so quick to, I'm sorry, you be doing that. I apologize for how I acted.
You know what? One of the first things that I tell him, I was like, I get my own money, and that's not gonna change. So if that bothers you, that I like to hustle and I like to grind and that makes me happy, then this is not going to work. Because I really had to sit with myself and say, Jazmyn, you're intimidating to some people.
Right. Literally.
But it's like, that's not my problem. Get yourself together.
Somebody will match your energy. Run towards God as fast as you can, and if you can find someone that catch up with you.
And for me, it's not about that. To me, it's more like, how do you deal with me emotionally? Because I have a big heart, so therefore I have big emotions. So I'm like, why would they say this, and that? But in that space, the way he pours into me is more like, it's not relax, calm down. It's practical stuff. For example, it's a situation as far as me personally, and my personal relationships, I don't play. If my friend, you're a part of my family.
Right.
So if you do something or if we get into it, why are we doing this right now? And he's the type of person that's like, think of it this way. Or have you thought about this? Change your perspective of this.
Mm-hmm.
What about that? Or I understand exactly where you're coming from. I get it. And I'm ranting. I'm going in. And it's like, I get it. But how are we going to not allow this to keep going down this rabbit hole?
Right.
I'm saying, and sometimes it's like, I didn't know I needed that. But having that, it allows me to keep going upward.
And I think listening to you, I think God placed that person in your life just because God knew what you needed to help you stay afloat and all that. So I think God places people in our lives to help grow us in different ways for everybody personally, because everybody's relationship with God is different. So he's helping you grow in the way that you need to help. You need
Another
help.
thing, as you was talking, I thought about that toxic independence. I don't need a man, I ain't never said that, baby.
Right.
But it's like, never said that, because I do not like picking up heavy stuff.
Right.
But I think because we are always or oftentimes in a position where we have to be strong, that's innate to say. And until someone shows us that we can depend on them, that we can trust them, we can trust their word, and I don't have to call that phone.
Right.
If I have to call that phone, I'm gonna be mad. But it's like, if you don't put me in that position and I can still be soft as your woman, we would not be having this conversation. But because time and time again, it has not gone the female's way,
Right.
you have made a monster. You have to deal with it. That's literally what's happening in society. You've made a monster, and now you have to deal with it. And now we supposed to feel bad
Right.
because you created that one? What are we supposed to do now?
Right.
But it's like, get with it or go home.
Right.
But I feel like as women that are trying to be better, it's up to us to reach out to those girls and be like,
Break those generational curses.
you know what I'm saying? Because like, to an extent, girl, you trifling. I should thump you in your forehead.
Certain things you expect a man to be good to you, but you giving it up on the first month. Slow down.
And I ain't even gonna lie, even if you are, okay, ma'am, what do you expect out of be for real? If you don't be for real, be for real with yourself.
Right.
I'm saying, but again, for me, it be no judgment. Somebody could be like, I'm saying, strung out bad, and if they, in their eyes, because it's always in their eyes, in their eyes, it's like, what was your trigger? What led you to do that? Why are we here right now? That's important to me, because I don't really care what you did. I want to know why you did it. What went through your head when you made that decision? For me, why did you want to pull your pants down? You thought he was going to leave you if you didn't?
Right.
Is that a fear? Do you have abandonment issues? How do you navigate that space? Do you even think about it? Those are the type of questions that you got to ask.
I think that's a lot of those questions. There's a lot of self-work going through that pregnant season too. So,
because it's
that's
like,
what I think. Figuring out what traumatized you, because some people are really traumatized.
They don't know that they're saying, or they never sat down and
thought about it, sat in with their emotions.
We're gonna woosah this out. Don't come over here if you don't want to think about how you can get better.
But this is the last question, and then we're gonna wrap this. I don't even know how long we've been recording. We've been just talking. What time is it? Last question. So question 5 is, if you could go back and redo the beginning of your walk with God, would you change how you handle certain situations or no? And if not, how did it help you grow?
I would not change anything because it made me who I am. Simple.
I think I wouldn't change anything either, because like you said, it made me who I am, and I learned a lot. God really opened my eyes. He took the veil off. I could see clearly. Discernment. He got wisdom. You got to pray for those things too. You got to pray for God to give you knowledge, give you wisdom. Pray for discernment to be able to see the world for what it is and see the people around you for who they are. And ask God to lead you to the people that you're supposed to be around. I prayed for a good friend, and God led me to Jazz. Literally,
no, for real.
it's so
I
crazy.
really did too. I did too.
I was like, God, I need me a good home girl, because I haven't had one in a minute.
And I was like, the first thing I said, God, I need her to be pretty though.
Yes.
Because I don't want to hang with no ugly.
Oh my God.
I didn't want no ugly friends. I'm for real. I did not want no ugly friends, because I'm like, I would hate for them to really, because I'm going to get cute. Be like.
Right. Talk about it.
I had to be specific in what I had to be specific.
Yes.
But I said, give me a community of people. And then we met at Shay. We should have prayed in.
Right. But we could pray out. So I hope that this helps someone. I hope that y'all loved it, and I hope that y'all tune into my other previous episodes, and hopefully maybe we're gonna see what the future holds. And I pray that God gives you wisdom. I pray that God give you knowledge. I hope this hit somebody's heart, and I hope that we opened y'all eyes to God. And you hope, if you need anything, if you want to, what's your Instagram, if you need to message
Jazmyn
her.
Allise. It's JazmYallys.
Yes, and my Instagram is just Sahara Norwood, SaHaraNorwood. So just make sure, if you need anything, if you want to know a little bit more, if you want to get saved or anything like that, if you're in the Dallas area, if you need a church home, we are here, I promise you. If you need a mentor, if you're younger than us or even older, if you just getting right with God and you need a mentor and you feel like we would be perfect fit for your mentor, I'd definitely be open to mentoring anybody or anything like that. I know you have a women's group.
Yeah, I just
Instagram.
started a really big group chat.
Yeah.
We send memes if you want to laugh, you want to cry. One of my friends, actually, she's just telling me, like, I need help today. Like,
Right.
Today is not a good day. I'm very big on mental health. So when she said that, I'm like, all right, cool. She put it in a group chat, though. Phone call. What's up? Immediately. That's what I'm on.
Right.
Making sure we good mentally.
So if you need sisterhood or anything, I would definitely join her group chat.
And that's on Instagram.
And I know I have a book on Amazon. I set a goal that I was going to sell 100 books this year, so we're going to pray for that. But yes, it's on Amazon, and it's called Becoming That Proverbs 31 Woman. It's just a journal, and you got some prayers in there and all that stuff. So I really hope that it helps some people. And we're just going to keep it doing what God called us to do. Figure out your purpose. You figure out what God wants you to do in this life, because once you figure it out, it's a breeze from there. It ain't a breeze, but you got the path that you're supposed to be taking, the people that you type of people you should be starting to hang around. If you want to go into business, you need to be starting hanging around business people. If you want to go into healthcare, you need to start hanging around nurses, doctors, you know what I mean? So just changing your environment, change your life. So
That part.
you have any closing remarks allowed?
Lord, thank you for allowing us to be here together. I pray for the people that are watching us at this time. And I pray that you silence our thoughts and you just allow us to have peace, that you restore anything that we think that is lost. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. God, I pray that we were doing your will and not ours.
Yes.
Doing your will, staying in your will.
Clock it.
Amen.
Amen.